chuck you to the right screen. And welcome everyone to what is a best of 3 series in the round 1 of the Mastapiece Theatre. This is the Elefanto division, which is the 5th highest. This game will be played between Noszombie, who is in the teal, playing as the Indians, and Nazgul, who's in the grey, playing as the Mayans. Personally, I prefer Mayans for this civ, and I'll explain why later. For this matchup, and I'll explain why later. Mastapiece Theatre is a tournament designed by 4 different admins, myself included, for the Discord server of the Viper, who is the #1 player in the world, undoubtedly. Let's look at the civs while they're going through their Dark Age. Indians, we saw that in the last series, actually. Teal versus grey. Would you prefer it if I turned team colours on? Undoubtedly, yes. That's an interesting one. No, I hate team colours. Normally, I dislike team colours as well. Indians, their villages cost less as the game goes on. Fishermen work faster. I don't think that's important for this map though, as there is no water with no fish. Sometimes on Desert Arabia you'll find little oases near the palm trees with shorefish in them, but they typically never get used. It's not blue and teal or something like that. True. Should have had colour rules. No. I think we wanted to keep it open to the players. Indians also benefit from really good camels. They only benefit from really good camels because they don't benefit from the night line as well. Their hand cannoneers are also really good in Imperial Age, assuming that Shatangi is researched. Hopefully I said that right. Maybe we force yellow versus purple in the final Viper cast. Honestly, I'd be keen to see that. Yes, that is also a good point. The Viper is casting one of the finals. I don't think we know which one he's casting yet, but it's one of them. So keep an eye out for that when that comes around. And Sultans, which makes their gold income a bit faster. Let's also look at Mayans. Mayans, they start with an extra villager and minus 50 food. That's for balancing reasons. The resources last 15% longer, which means they have a really, really good eco as the game goes on. Their archers cost less as well, which is their main unit of choice. Typically their main unit of choice. Sometimes you will see them go for what is referred to as the Mayan Death Ball, where they go eagles and halberdiers. And you could actually see that in this matchup against the Indians, who are typically going to go for camels, but they could go for something like. Thank you for the follow, by the way, Kigo. I believe I'm casting your game next. The Mayan Death Ball, which can be very good against camels, but then Indians do also have the hand cannoneer option later on. They also get obsidian arrows. This is for their foot archers, except for their plumed archer, which is their unique unit, which is a really fast archer with high PS armor. El Dorado gives their eagles extra hit points, and their walls cost minus 50% resources, which means it's it's much easier to wall as the mines than it is with most other civs. I'm going to fast forward a little bit through Dark Age, because it'll be relatively standard stuff. Nazgul going with 4 on wood, which is normal. Noszombie also going with 4 on wood. This is Elefanto division. Both players bringing in rhinos and elephants, which is like a boar. Looking at the maps, both players have an extra gold that is quite exposed, and a stone that's quite exposed. I think the maps are quite even, actually. Is this considered as exposed? Because, assuming he scouts properly, Noszombie can wall out here, or even out here and down this way, assuming he's scouted, which he has. So, but he's electing to wall here, so this is exposed. Noszombie dropping a stable, Nazgul dropping an archery range. There was also man-at-arms coming in from Nazgul, which is something I missed. For a second I thought it was in slow motion, but no, it's just because that eagle is walking at the pace of the man-at-arms. Second archery range being chucked up by Nazgul. Nazgul actually has quite a nice villager lead. Nazgul losing his military on the front. But I think he killed a villager and a scout in the process, so... Ooh, we got a T90 farm right here. Look at that. That's awesome. I'm not gonna lie to you, Kigo. The lower divisions have actually been more enjoyable to watch, because they're closer games. So far. I've only watched one around by division game. I'm looking to cast Kiwi versus whoever his opponent is. I'm not actually quite sure who his opponent is. I'll have to look at that later. I haven't set up commands yet. I should do that. The elos of both players, they're high 1200, low 1300 players. I need to figure out how to set up those command bots. Four villager difference, yeah. It happens. Hopefully the players watch this and we'll learn. See what they did. Or, in this case, didn't. Scouts coming forward while the archers are coming out. The archers do have fletching. Scouts don't have any armor upgrades or bloodlines or anything. It's also a spearman out, which is why the scouts ran away. Defensive tower coming up from Noszombie. Maybe he anticipated a tower drop, but that doesn't make sense as... It doesn't make sense for a tower rush to come out as... for mines. What's up, Deagle? How did your last series go? I know you've played your last series. I may look to cast that one as well. Not today, obviously. No, I just want to know if the series as a whole just went well. I don't want to know what the result was, or if you thought it went well for you, or if you thought it went well for the other player. I just want to know if it ran smoothly. There was a winner. No, that's not what I mean. Yeah, they didn't get a draw. These farms are quite interesting from Noszombie. Now, Noszombie is the higher seeded player. But I don't think that comes... I don't think that's that important. Most of the time it just comes down to individual player skill. I'm looking to cast as many games of this as possible. I am myself relatively new to the casting game, so I figure that the more I cast and the more I practice it, the better I can get at it when it comes to casting higher tier tournaments like Clown Cup, for example. Which, by the way, I think is starting... I want to cast some live games as well. Yeah, casting live games is fun. You just gotta know when the players are actually playing and communicate with the players, as you mentioned to me yesterday and was right about. Both players hitting Castle Age now. The Feudal Age warfare sort of died down temporarily, so... I have seen how many recorded games have been posted. I do have a lot to cast. I'm probably not going to be able to cover everything live on stream. So most things that I do cover, it'll be posted to my YouTube channel. Assuming I actually cast them, that is. Nazgul dropping a town center on the front, protecting this gold. Noszombie electing not to build an extra town center and going with a military approach instead. Nazgul with some crossbow on the front, going through the palisade walls of the teal player. Crossbow's now walking around to the side, catching Noszombie's villagers off guard that just want to build this town center. He's also kind of got him pincered. Does he have a castle up yet? I don't think he does. No, he doesn't. So he doesn't have obsidian arrows. Just notice how quick he killed that lumber camp. Noszombie losing most of his camels. This isn't a very good fight for him. Especially with DE pathing being the way it is. Thanks, DE. Rough matchup for Indians. Yeah, I agree. As I said earlier, I do prefer for Mayans in this. They just I feel like they have better options than Indians. Nazgul picking off a few villages as they migrate to the south. Nazgul with a 15 villager lead at halfway through Castle Age. 1k score leads tells a story by itself, pretty much. Nazgul is very far ahead in this game. He has the control. And a 38 military advantage. It works. Noszombie may still need to warm up, so it is good to play on. I think Noszombie played this at like 2 in the morning for him, being in Australia. Could have made elephant archers. Yeah, we'll see if he does. You've got a good point. He could buy... I don't even know what elephant archers cost, because I never make them. He could buy some food. It is Elefanto division. And GG comes in. I think it's maybe a little late to call GG there, but perhaps he's just warming up. Who knows? Let me update the scoreboard real quick. It was player 2. Nazgul taking a 1-0 lead. He'll be very happy with that. He will also be very happy to see that Noszombie pretty much crumbled. The statistics, I expect most of the gold stars to be the way of Nazgul. He didn't build a castle, so he didn't even need the stone. I want to see Noszombie kick ass now. I kind of want to see a comeback as well, to be honest. Nazgul with a 25 villager advantage as well. Yeah, no, that was Nazgul's game to lose. Thankfully for him, he didn't. In the end. I'm going to chuck you to that screen. we'll get the next game sorted out very shortly. Right, so the home maps for both players. I actually have to pull that up on the document so I can see who picked what. Pulling it up on the very professional track sheet we have. Noszombie picked Ghost Lake, and Nazgul picked Serengeti. Seems to be a lot of favour towards Ghost Lake and Serengeti. Now what I'm going to try with the scoreboard is making the score itself easier to see. So I'll go. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to see if I can change the color. Now, tell me, is that colour awful to look at? It's fine. Okay, good. I think it is a little bit too dark though. That's better. Probably about as good as they're gonna get. Right. I'll chuck you back to the intermission thing so that when this goes on YouTube it looks decent. And we'll load into game 2. Right, welcome to game 2 of best of 3 series between Noszombie and Nazgul in the Mastapiece Theatre. Map is Ghost Lake. Noszombie is in the bottom of the map as the teal. He's playing as the Bulgarians. Nazgul is at the top of the map playing as the Magyars in the grey. Interesting matchup this one. Don't see Magyars picked in RM too often. Nor do you see Bulgarians picked that often in RM. RM being random map. So I'm very interested to see which civ comes out on top here. Both civs have very decent cavalry. The Magiers, they benefit from forging, iron casting, and blast furnace for free. And their scout line costs less. Their cavalry archers are also really good as well. Magiers are a pretty solid civ, actually, now that I look at it. They just don't have that many eco upgrades. Oh no, eco bonuses. Nazgul is playing as the Magiers. Bulgarians, they get their militia line upgrades for free. The town centers cost less, which is very helpful because you can drop one of them and a crep host, which is a weaker castle. At the same time, giving you a strong start to castle edge. They get the Konuk, which has essentially 2 lives, and you might see that come into play later on. If we do, I'll explain it further then. They get stirrups, which makes their cavalry attack faster. Baggins gives their militia line extra armor, and their blacksmith works faster. I'm going to fast forward through Dark Age again, while both players go through their standard build orders. On Ghost Lake, there is a lot of sheep on the lake, and you can't build on the lake itself. It's important to note. Something happened. Both players losing a villager. Although Nazgul appears to be 2 villages ahead. There will be a schedule released for tomorrow. I have no idea when that's coming out though. I'll have to have a look after these couple of series. Both players just having a conversation while in the middle of a high stakes tournament game. Noszombie walling up, actually, and he's walled up pretty well. He's almost got a Black Forest-esque Ghost Lake map. Normally, Ghost Lake's very open on the front, so if Magiers get an early lead, they should win, but if it goes late game, my bet is on Bulgarians. Noszombie coming in with some early aggression with some man-at-arms. That scout going down in 1 shot. At least better than Yoon's map, yes. And what Azu was referring to there is a series that I casted earlier today, which will be on YouTube probably before this series is released. Nazgul now coming forward with some scouts. Now he said he didn't know what to do versus Bulgarians, so it's going to look to try and punch a hole in the wall of the teal player. Noszombie should send a villager over this way to build that house. I think he gets it. Actually, he definitely does get it. That's good micro. He pulled the low HP scout away from the spearman so he could make sure it died without losing the scout. That's micro you don't often see from this level of player. Or you don't often see pulled off. You often see them trying it. This beginner / intermediate level of player, who's learnt the basics of the game and is now trying to get better up to the level of players like the Viper and Hera. I've noticed throughout the series that Noszombie likes to place his farms in just all over the show. Damn walls. See, now what I like about doing this with recorded games is we can see the chat. If this was a live game, you wouldn't be able to see this. Nazgul just being annoying. Let's call it a peculiar order of farms. Yes. He hasn't watched Spirit of the Lost farm videos. Noszombie coming in with 2 spearmen now, which will force these scouts away. Both players up to castle age now. Nazgul there a lot faster. But he's behind in villages. That's mostly due to the fact that he clicked up earlier. But he could have also been idle while he was microing these scouts away. He didn't have horse collar. Yeah. It happens. It's fine. It's fine. I think if Noszombie watches this, I would say to him, work on your farm placement, because it's very inefficient. What military does Nos have? He has 2 spearmen, and they are there. Nazgul hits castle age first. Probably looking to make some knights or cavalry archers. I'm not actually too sure what the plan is. It is knights. It's fine. Adjacent guarantee. Yes. Both players are now up to castle edge. Noszombie chucking up a Crepos, so he may be looking to go with the Konix actually, and he's chucking up one of the cheaper town centres, as I mentioned. There is quite a few knights now out on the field for Nazgul. Noszombie happy to just wall behind, although he's got to be careful because there is a hole here. Noszombie? He's in. Nazgul? Hello? Is there? I can't see it. If there was, it would be in that tile. Hmm. T90 I am literally blind. Oh, good quick walls from Noszombie. Almost, actually. I mean, I couldn't see the tree. It's my bad. These knights doing a little bit of damage. Conics are now out on the field. So the 2 lives thing. When this Conic falls, it will stand back up as an infantry unit. It doesn't get affected by infantry upgrades though. Noszombie walling behind the stone. Just making sure his peculiar arrangement of farms is safe. Yes, I agree. Because the infantry unit doesn't get affected by the defensive upgrades. It should definitely be more important for the attack upgrades to come in first. But you've got to think about it in a knight versus cavalry Conic sense. They're gonna die anyway. I don't think the Conic is the unit that comes out on top here. It looks like Nazgul's prioritized the attack upgrades himself. Both players around 50 villages. This game is a lot more even than the last. Third town centre now coming out for the Magier player. With Conics coming forward looking to do some raiding. I love the sound these things make. It's a thud. Nazgul not getting attacked anyway, so it makes sense. Yeah, I agree. I think Noszombie should take into some pikemen as well, just to make the fight against the knights a little bit easier. There is quite a lot of knights on the field now, actually. Interesting, a villager is in the corner of the map. Maybe important to keep an eye on that. Just going for a hike. Probably looking to build some fort buildings in the corner. Hopefully he doesn't get scouted. Well, Noszombie will be hoping it doesn't get scouted. Noszombie not taking the best engagements against the knights. It's just chilling. No, he's coming back. Okay, he's just building a house. He's off to settle the lands. 13 knights now on the field in comparison to the 10 conics. The knights are still better upgraded though. I think once the next attack upgrade comes in for Nos, actually it's pretty good rating coming in actually. Killed a villager. 2. Once the next attack upgrade comes in for Noszombie, he should be able to take the fight against the knights a lot easier. But at the moment it's just not worth it to try and fight them. And seeing him losing that fight, that army will get cleaned up. Nazgul will be very happy about that. This villager is still just standing out there, exploring the world. Well, in this case, just not actually. Imperial Age coming in for Nazgul. Also, a few rangers coming up from Magiers. Now, did they have? No, the recurve bow affects cavalry archers. He's making crossbow though. Do they even? Oh, they get arbalest. I never play Magiers, so I don't actually quite know how the Civ plays. It's monastery out on the right for teal. There has been an overchop, by the looks of it, unless I'm blind again. No, there isn't a tree there. There's another raid coming in on that gold. A couple more villagers will die. He could have gotten another hit on that one. Now he's got the attack upgrades. He can take this fight. Maybe he wants to just save them. Oh, you know, he does want to save them. He's Noszombie clicking up to Imperial Age as Nazgul finishes it. I don't know why I feel Nazgul has a slight advantage, and it's called Imp. Yes, I agree. Researching Arbalest. Will also probably research Cavalier. Oh, which he is doing. He doesn't have ballistics yet. He's researching that now. Now, I wonder if Noszombie persists with conics. It's still pretty even, actually, when you look at the the villager count, but the military advantage for Nazgul was quite in his favour. I think this monk will die. I mean, as he's waltzing into his death right there. $50 military to 17. Not a lot actually happening at this current moment in time. I think Noszombie moved his military over here to try and raid. He does have elite Konnikin now. I think the Cavalier currently performs better. Yes, I agree. Another raid coming in on this gold. He could probably just bat down this TC now. I think he has enough. Yeah. See how tanky these things are against arrows? He can just come under here, smack it down. But yeah, the Cavalier are too close. Although, to be fair, they were over here by the time he was here. He could have... I still think he could have... I would have done a lot of damage to it. I don't actually think he would have taken it down. As a whole. I don't know if that was smart. Leaving 4 or 5 back for Nazgul to clean up. Noszombie building creposts on both the left and right hand side of the map. Trebuchets in the middle for Nazgul. I've just noticed the resource count for Noszombie. Is it the same for the grey player? Yeah, it is. Okay. They're both not really spending their resources as well as they should. I don't know if this is a good fight. With the arbalests in the back and the siege coming on the front, I don't think Bulgarians... Well, they're coming out on top, actually. I think there's still too many arbalests, though, for the teal player to deal with. He will pack the trebuchets up and regroup. But he did lose all of his cavalier in the process. Now, do Magyar get paladin? Oh, I'm not looking at the right one. They do. Is it worth it in this match for the paladin upgrade to come in? I think if he ends up managing to get the resources for it, if he has enough time to get the resources for it, rather, then yes. It looks like he is kind of saving up for it. I think Paladin could be the winning decision. I wish I knew what counted those. You're currently building both of them. Now, Nazgul's army is very gold intensive. And gold is starting to run out. So I think this could end up going into a trash war. It's actually this is quite important. This soul villager that was out exploring the wilderness, as another raid comes in for Noszombie. Noszombie has the control of the extra gold. And I think he's sending villagers out to here and everyone. Oh, he's got control of both the extra golds. It was smart to go out that way, because he can continue to produce these conics for longer, whereas as Nazgul is going to have to start taking into trash units, which he is. I think this game could slowly turn because of that decision. To go out and explore for the extra resources. That was actually kind of really smart by Noszombie. The score is really close now as well. Look at that. Military for the first time in this game is in favor of Noszombie. She'll slowly start chipping away at that castle, trying to trip it down. It's a little bit of a raid coming in from the grey player. Another raid coming in from the Bulgarian player. Halberdier has been researched. I think that Nazgul should be collecting stone to sell it so he can continue making arbalests. I think the counter to this is pikemen to poke down the horses, and then the archers to get rid of the infantry. Onager has been researched for Noszombie. Are we going to see a big shot coming in? We are. Yeah, it's not quite as big as I thought it was going to be. It's still a pretty good shot. Oh, it's an amazing shot. Look at that. he just shot his own Onager as well. He's like, you've done your work now, you can go into retirement. And that's GG right there with that castle going down and that amazing shot from Noszombie. Noszombie tying the series up. He was behind for most of that game, but he took that one really good fight and made that one really good decision. Deagle, maybe you're right. Maybe he only needed to warm up. Series is now 1-1. Let's look at the statistics. Very even game. Yeah. An extra 3,000 gold being collected by Noszombie. That was definitely the game-winning decision. Had a lot of villages as well, so he didn't actually have that much room for military. It's probably why he was probably one of the main reasons he was behind in military for most of the game. Do you think it was a conscious strategy decision for Noszombie to decide to just try to hold on for the early game until the gold eventually ran out for Nazgul? Or do you think it was just sheer luck that the point where he was getting the extra golds was when... Luck, okay. That was a good game too. Right, I'm gonna chuck you to the intermission screen with the schedule. Get the next game sorted out. Let's do that. Let's do the next game straight away, shall we? The next game will be on Serengeti. I will actually change the scoreboard back to being white, and I'll only change it to purple for Ghost Lake. Score 1-1. Chat, who are you picking to win this last game? Nazgul? Lots of hype for Nazgul. Okay. Right, well, let's load into game 3. Welcome to the third and final game of this best of 3 series in round 1 of the Mastapiece Theatre. In the top of the map, we have Noszombie playing as the Mongols. And in the bottom of the map, in the grey, we have Nazgul playing as the Mongols as well. Mongol War on Serengeti. Now, the thing about Serengeti is two things about it, actually. First of all, is this cracked terrain. It means buildings are more... It makes it so buildings are more vulnerable to attacks. And there's also the fact that all the wood lines have holes in them. This map is... one of the most difficult maps in the game to wall up on because of that, and it's also really easy to get through those walls, especially with the cracked terrain. Mongols, their cavalry archers fire 20% faster. This is particularly visible with the Mangudai, which fire almost in... Oh, they used to fire almost instantly, but they don't anymore. They got patched a while back. Their light cavalry, hussars and steppe lancers, they get an extra 30% hit points. Hunters work faster, which is why they're a strong civ on most maps, because most standard maps have a lot of hunt. This map in particular does actually have a lot of hunt. So, could see that being used. Will see that being used, probably. Unique text, nomads, and drill. Drill's the more important one there, where their siege units move like NASCARs. Nomads makes it so that when a house is destroyed, it doesn't lose its population. And their scout line have extra line of sight. I'm going to fast forward through to feudal age while I talk about the maps. The golds are very forward. Are more so forward for. It killed my sheep though. Okay. The golds are more so forward for Noszombie than they are for Nazgul. Nazgul now walling up. I do like the stone positions for Nazgul as well. Trying to find the third gold for the scouts just being annoying. Ah, there's the third gold. It's really exposed on this hill, actually. I still prefer Nazgul's map, even with this really exposed woodline. Noszombie placing an interestingly placed archery range. Normally with Mongols you see scouts coming out. We'll see if Nazgul drops a stable instead of an archery range. Now normally you want to place your military buildings still as a wall for your base, but towards your opponent. So I see it very interesting that, or very peculiar that the archery ranges are being placed on this side. It would be brilliant if he was over here, but Nazgul up to feudal age now. Does he drop a stable, or does he drop an archery range as well? He drops a stable, right. Nazgul looking to go into scouts then. Archers are coming out for Noszombie, who has quite a significant score lead. The reason you see that significant score lead is because he's explored a lot, whereas Nazgul hasn't. So, in fact, Nazgul lost his scout, actually, as you can see it from that. He's also making. He's also made a spearman. Ah, now because he lost his scout, Nazgul's assuming that the Mongol player is making scouts, so he's making a spearman of his own. Yeah, he'll be able to doink down this scout, but actually that scout's gonna take a little bit more damage, not go down because of the spearman. But he's seen the archer. He'll be happy to see the archer, but he won't be so happy to see the spearman. Both the grey scouts going down there. Pretty good engagement. It was a good trade, I guess. Taking down the gold unit. Although that scout's probably going to go down. Noszombie with the military lead, 8-5. And the villager lead, which I think has been a first for this series. Have a look at his farm. Yep, he's sticking with the peculiar farms. What was it? It was a peculiar arrangement, wasn't it? I thought he was going to take down the archer. Then it must have been just. It would have been on the hill though. So that one HP archer's getting out alive temporarily, but probably not for much longer. Blacksmith coming up for Nazgul and for Noszombie. Neither player really anywhere near going up to castle age, so they're looking to drag this one out in feudal age a little bit longer. I think Nazgul's looking to get the defensive upgrade for the scout, so he can more confidently take the fight against the soul spearmen and the group of archers. Or he should look to do that, rather. He's also made a lot of spearmen. I think he wanted to go forward then, but then saw that the archers were running into his base. Forward with the scouts, that is. That's not the best spot to take that fight, I don't think. The archers will go down though. Nazgul coming out on top in that engagement. Now, I'm interested to see if either player is taking stun. No. I don't think either player is thinking Mangudai then, which is normally the play for Mongols. It's one of the strongest castle age units in the game. Cleaning up some more archers. He lost a scout in the process though. There's a market coming up for Noszombie. I think Noszombie's looking to buy his way up. Nazgul says horrendous start. He is 500 score behind now. And he's 11 villages behind. Falling behind in eco, but he has a military advantage. But I don't think that matters too much at this current stage in the game. It did before, when Noszombie had the military advantage. Noszombie will be just very happy to war behind this. I look at these farms. I think I need to cast some more Noszombie games so I can get some more of these farms. Look at that. He just doesn't care. He will go through the wall though, but I think it's fine because the spearmen there, and he's trying to. No, he tried to quick wall, but I think it was a bit too late. Lost a scout, which wasn't the best. Noszombie happy to just walk back to the TC while he goes up. So do I, especially this one. Now for this farm, is it closer? Is it faster to walk to the TC or to the mill? What is going on here? It's approaching the scouts with about what, 16 villages? Yeah. He's happy to poke at the scouts with the villagers. He's going on to stone now, so maybe he is thinking Mangudai. He's just done it late. Nazgul isn't even close to Castle Edge. He could buy his way up, I guess, but I don't know if he had a market. Yeah, he doesn't. Think how good he would be if he placed good farms. He would be amazing. These three scouts will get out. Archer's also coming out for Nazgul. He did build 2 ranges, which I do find interesting. Noszombie ahead by 6 villages, but behind in military. He's chucking a TC up on the gold to the north. He's researched crossbow, which I also find interesting. It's not something you always see with Mongols. Noszombie is killing the crossbows though. I'd say it's still pretty good trades for either player. KD is relatively even, 24 to 29. This army is actually causing quite a lot of idle time. He does have the villager lead by 10 villagers, but those 10 villagers are idle in the TC. So it's almost as if they just have the same amount of vills. Nazgul now almost in Castle Edge. Researching crossbow of his own, and he's making knights. I think he built a third range as well, he did. That's also in a peculiar place. I can't get enough of these farms. Noszombie now has enough to build a castle, which he is. Looking to protect that front gold. Both armies just standing around in the middle of the map. Nazgul's army is now going forward. He does have a 10 military advantage, and I would say the better composition. Knights and crossbows versus crossbows. Nazgul will see the knights and should think about mixing in some spearmen or some monks. And there's the monastery. Oh no, he does place them. He just places them really quickly. I think instead of T90 farm, it should be Noszombie farms. Can you make that a meme? I think that would be funny. It is actually quite Australian that the farms are all over the show, though. Gotta love it, gotta love it. Couple villagers going down to the crossbows while that TC comes up. But now that TC is there, those villagers are quite protected. Magudai now out on the field. There's also an eco in the top corner. He's taking the extra golds again. More knights coming in. Now he's starting to take stone now. Magudai going forward. Grey player will see the Magudai. He is in. A couple more villagers going down. Doesn't have ballistics yet. Knight coming out. I think this army should be dealt with. Noszombie getting the relics instead of trying to convert the knights. Both players just have nuts amounts of a certain resource. It is a mistake to have it like that. I do like how Noszombie expands though. I mean the farms are good, but the fact that he expands out is really good. Where did that army go? It's over here. Maybe it's a part of his playstyle. Quick, hey, no, farms like this around the mill at this stage of the game, they're actually quite common. You will just see players. That face though. Yeah. Exactly, Kiko. Little engagement coming in here. Ballistic still hasn't come in for the grey player. Does he even have a university? You build it now, okay. How are the upgrades looking? The upgrades are better for the crossbowman. He doesn't want to take the fight under the castle though. It's markering out of the castle fire, which is pretty good. What's 1 or 2 food at this point of the game? Exactly. I think the point Az is getting at though is these are the most of these are the same farms that were placed in feudal age. Cleans up that army. There was also a knight converted on this side. This monk is on extremely low HP. No, Zombie was the higher rated player. But not by much. Or is currently the higher rated player. I don't know if it's, I don't know how it is on the track sheet. Viper literally loves the same. Yes. Mangudai dying. I really like how he expands. Like, Nazgul, he hasn't expanded. He's not trying to take this gold. He's not trying to take this gold. Whereas, as Noszombie, he's out here. He's probably going to place a lumber camp and maybe a mining camp out here. He's come out here to build. He's come up to the top to build. Admittedly, this is... You'd expect a player to come out here and build. But... Siege Workshop coming up for Nazgul. And he also almost has enough for a castle, which I would expect him to build on one of these 2 hills. I would prefer to actually see it on this hill so it protects this gold. It's not a range coming up from Noszombie. Oh, getting a few villager picks. Doing a little bit of raiding. This crossbow destroying a gate, but probably won't come in to do much, as there's a castle right there. Killed 2 villagers though. It's probably the best he could hope for. There's another villager going down. That knight will die, but it distracts the Mangudai, who do now have ballistics, so he's killing quite a few villagers actually. That's a very nice raid for the teal player. He'll be very happy with that. Now I don't know if that counts as a castle drop or just a fort castle, but it denies access to this hill, which will be very nice for Noszombie. Nazgul up to Imperial Age first, which I didn't notice earlier. Noszombie only clicked up a few seconds ago, so Mangudai looking to do some more damage, which they will, but they should be cleared up by this army. Notice no upgrades coming in for Nazgul. That castle's also up. Nazgul does in fact see that. Looks like the army composition is going to be Skirm's Mangudai. Make it very difficult to deal with some knights later on. But if you've got enough Mangudai, you can just micro them down. I really like the fact that he expands like this. I don't even do this. I need to learn from Noszombie. Yes, you do. I know I do. There's a castle coming out on the bottom of the... It would have been better to place the castle up here, because if trebuchets were to come out, that castle dies really quickly. What's my rating? I don't know. I haven't played 1v1 ranked for like 3 months. Last time I played, I was getting up near the mid 1200 range, I think. I don't remember. I've been playing a lot recently, so I think I'm getting better. But I'm also focusing on casting at the moment. Trebuchet coming out for both players. But these trebuchets have the obvious advantage that it's unlikely this castle stays alive. Grey player actually now noticing the expanding. Maybe he looked at the map at the end of the last game and saw that there was a bunch of expanding that was happening. Also, Skirms versus Arbalest. That's not a very good fight. He wants to get his siege in there, but I don't think he can with the castle and the Mangudai there. I think he needs to make light cap and Arbalest if he wants to go Arbalest. He needs to make light cap or Hussar so he can deal with the Skirms. What a series this has been. They've been very close games. Especially the first one of the series was a little bit of a walkout. But these last two games have been very strong. They're very good games for both players. He desperately wants to keep that castle alive, but it will go down. He's got another one on this side. Let's just come up. There goes that castle. Did he even get a single trebuchet out? I don't think he did. He's opting to make skirmisher. But I don't think just skirmisher is gonna cut it. I think he just forgot to make trebuchets. More Mangudai coming on the left side. Noszombie continues to expand and come forward. He has so much map control. It's a matter of who can. That was a good shot. It's a matter of who can take the best fight. I think. I think Noszombie has the better composition, and he has the trebuchets. I don't even think Nazgul made a single trebuchet. This could be game, so. Quite a bit expensive on wood. He doesn't actually have the wood for that, to be fair. Nazgul's got a lot of resources. Noszombie using the hill to his advantage, but Nazgul cleaning up most of the Mangudai that were there. Noszombie slowly chipping away at Nazgul's base. I do think it's now just comes down to a matter of time again. Just needs to make sure he doesn't lose numbers in bad engagements. Yeah, I agree. Dying to the castle, but they'll be cleaned up by these Mangudai, probably. No, these Mangudai happy to just go to the wood line. Are they? Or are they trying to go in? Just passing. It's been a long game so far. TC goes down while it was being built. He tries to build another one. That villager won't get off it. Look at this. Look at map control. Super strong eco. He's almost pop capped pretty much. And he's got heaps of resources in the bank to be able to keep going. He's in such a strong position. I would say delete that bill. It's what it would deserve. For not doing as it's told. Classic problem ready. Has a million resources but doesn't spend them yet. I mean, Noszombie can't really spend. Well, he can obviously spend more resources, but he's pop capped. Nazgul, he's got a million resources, but he isn't spending them. He's researching Cavalier, so he's obviously thought about what units he needs to make, but I think it's a little too late. He also hasn't upgraded his cavalry, which I thought he would have done a lot earlier. It's also housed. He keeps trying to build this one town centre. He's got 44 idle villages. That town centre's going down again. He doesn't even have the stone to build another one. Why did he keep trying to build it there? Oh, he is building another one, actually. Another castle coming out. Hussar also coming out. He is also building it on cracked terrain. Yes, you are correct. Is a new one on cracked terrain? It is. He now has one defensive upgrade on his Cavalier. He needs to fully upgrade them. I don't think he has the resources to do that now, actually. Before he did, like a long time ago, chucking up a market. Still has a large number of skirms. I think if this main army here dies, it could end up being game right there. Although he has thousands of resources to just reproduce, which he should be. Skirmishes going forward, probably when he didn't want them to. I just miss micro. Is still those Mangudai on this side, ignoring these 5 villages. He doesn't see them. He does see them. He's just not focused on it, though. He's trying to sort this fight out, probably. Do they have all upgrades? The Grey player doesn't have all the upgrades on the cavalry he's been trying to make. He's opting back for the arbalest approach, which he does have most of the upgrades. Ah, okay. They forgot to set the game to conquest. Tarsus, if you're here, note that, please. I'll make sure to set a reminder out to everyone to make sure it's conquest. Does this end up being a relic victory? Yeah, he's probably not going for the relic victory, but GG's called. The Australian player had been lost for Pega. No, it's fine. He was winning that game before it even came in. I'll just make sure to set a reminder out to all players to make sure the game's in conquest. Noszombie taking the series 2-1, reverse sweeping Nazgul. Again, I think that came down to the amount of expanding that Noszombie was doing. I expect most of the gold stars to be in favour for Noszombie, except for that one. Which they are.